Welcome to another edition of the Meehan Mission Podcast, where we like to talk about faith, truth, health, and science. And most of all, we want to empower you on your wellness journey. Today's episode, we welcome Eric Barber, the founder of Barberic Training. And we're going to talk with Eric about the options of where do we want to work out. Because remember, nowadays we've got options. You've got commercial gyms, home gyms, these fitness studios. So, what is really going to be the best to help you attain your fitness goals and keep you committed and keep you on track? So let's get started and let's welcome Eric. So here's the big question. We started the workout, or we're going to start the workout, but where do I work out? So let's talk to Eric Barber, the founder of Barberic Training and my personal trainer. Thank you very much, Eric, for transforming my life. And I would love for you to help educate our audience. Maybe they're thinking about working out, but what are some things they have to consider about where do they work out? Because there's a lot of options out there.
Yes, there is. Great question, loaded question as usual.
As usual.
Most people, whether they need to start working out for medical issues, for health issues, or whether they just want to train for appearance, changing their appearance, whatever, right? You got the broad spectrum.
Mhm.
But they've decided to do something about it. Step one, right? Make that mental shift. I'm going to do this. So at that point, you're looking at pretty much getting a membership at a commercial gym, or you can get into something like what I would call a micro gym, which would be like your Orange Theory or your CrossFit or your F45 or maybe yoga classes or Pilates classes, like a smaller
Mhm.
studio or just a micro gym. And then after that, you've got training at home, you know, and
Okay.
that could be a garage gym, that could be an extra room that you've built out. I work out people that train at all three of those, you know, primarily though, commercial gyms and home gyms, okay, or garage gyms. The
Yeah.
the micro gyms usually have coaches there, but sometimes people come to me for extra help with changing their actual appearance of their body. So yeah,
Yeah, I know that I had that option because I
yeah,
do have like a home
yeah. I
gym,
remember that. Yeah,
but yeah, it's kind of dirty and run down and not that inviting.
yeah.
And then I had the option of the commercial gym, which is what I ultimately chose, which was best for my fit. But I'd love for you to walk us through like pros and cons of each one of those.
Yeah, so let's start with the commercial
Mhm.
gyms.
Mhm.
Gosh, man, I've trained everywhere. I've trained Gold's Gym, Powerhouse Gym, Bally's, Holiday Health and Fitness, Lifetime, Vaza, Crunch Fitness, Planet Fitness. I've trained everywhere over my past 35, 40 years. Um, and I would say that for the price point, you kind of can't go wrong with a commercial gym. They've got tons of equipment. Um, Really, it comes down to when you're talking about commercial gyms. Like I recently trained at a gym nearby, and it was locally owned. It was
Okay.
owner's gym, and it was the size of a community gym. I have a commercial gym. It
Mhm.
was huge, and this one dude owned it. And the machines were breaking down all the time, and
Mhm.
wasn't that clean. The cleanliness wasn't up to par, and so it was for his gym. It was too expensive. You know what I mean? He was charging too much. The bathrooms were always nasty, that kind of thing. So when I vote
Mhm.
now, when I look for a commercial gym, I look for one of the main chain brands, like the
Mhm.
Crutch or the Vaza or the Lifetime, something like that. Uh,
Yeah.
I like how clean they are. I like all the
Mhm.
little amenities. So sometimes when I do a brutal leg workout or a brutal back workout, I want to lay in one of those hydro massage beds, you know?
Yeah, those are sweet.
Or
Those are sweet.
I don't like tanning. I get a really good tan, but only if I build up to it.
Mhm.
If I have a summer of just being pure white, and then I try to get out into the sun, I usually burn. But if I maintain a safe tan throughout the winter, just tanning, doing their little tanning bed once a week, then when I get out in the sun, I don't burn. So I do look for that in a commercial gym, that kind of thing. Um, I look at the equipment. I look to see if there's a lot of
Mhm.
pieces of equipment that are broken down. They've got those out of order signs on them. If I
Mhm.
see 2 or 3 of those during my walk around the gym for the first time, my introduction, they'll walk you through, they'll give you a tour. If I see 3 or 4 machines with out of order, that's a red flag for me.
Yeah, that would be.
I look for clean bathrooms. I have to have a clean
Mhm.
bathroom. Saunas are nice, pools are nice, steam rooms. I don't think they're the most sanitary. I don't see how they can be. You know what I mean? Um,
I kinda agree on that
Yeah,
one.
I'll go into a dry sauna, but I don't go into the steam rooms, they creep me out.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you do make a point though that there are so many commercial gyms that you probably should take the effort to walk through several, and see like maybe like some have a certain like
oh,
atmosphere
absolutely. Yeah,
and
like, check them all out.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Take an afternoon,
Mhm.
and what I did
Mhm.
was I pulled out my phone, and I typed in gyms, and then I just took note of all of the gyms around me, and, I started highlighting the ones that I wanted to check out. Because some of them, I'd look at the pictures or look at their website, I'm like, "Absolutely not." Some of them I'd look at and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I need to go try that." So, I just recently, last week, moved, from one part of Charlotte to another. Okay, I moved about 7 miles. So now I've got access to all these other new gyms. And
Oh,
so,
that's good.
so I settled in on LA Fitness. I've never
Mhm.
trained at an LA Fitness, but I went in there and I did see one broken down machine. The staff were nice. They were cool. Um, the location was a mile and a half from my home. I'm like, wow,
Oh, that's
lucked
nice.
out on that one.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They happen to have a pool. So just on a side note, I don't like doing the same mode of cardio over and over and over again. It makes me want to pull my hair out. I like cardio. I like doing it. Um, but I have to have variety. So, having the pool is kind of nice, a lap pool, to
Mm.
throw that into the mix. So it's not just treadmill and elliptical and stair climber and recumbent and stationary bikes. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're getting into working out and you get that addiction and you continue to work out,
Yeah.
then you're gonna wanna have a variety of things
Yeah.
so, that you can experience the different types, and I'm glad you talked about laps because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even think about doing pool for
Yeah.
cardio.
And you train at
So I'll
Lifetime,
need
right?
to yeah.
They
Yeah,
keep,
Lifetime. So I'm gonna put a plug in for Lifetime.
yeah,
I
it's a
love
great gym.
Lifetime. Yes, and that was,
It's one of
one
the
of
most
one of the
expensive ones, but I think if you've got the money, I think it's worth it because
yeah.
that gym is on point.
Yeah, and if you break it down, I mean, the monthly fee, if you break that down to how often I use
Yeah.
it, which is 6 to 7 days a week, and
You better not be
and
training 7 days a week, Miss Cathy.
it's got everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So the pool is
Yeah.
nice, Lifetime
Yeah.
is known for having very clean pools, like, they're really good about
It's very clean also. The
yeah,
the whole
yeah,
facility is clean,
yeah.
so I think that's great, and,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so
other things with, commercial gyms, you've got your cleanliness, you've got the staff, you've got the
yeah.
equipment. I'm a bit of a snob, so I tend to look if they've got newer equipment in, okay?
Mm,
So if I go
good,
into a
good.
gym, and they don't at least have some hammer strength equipment, I'm just like, "Oh, come on." I mean, hammer strength equipment is just kind of like, what do you mean you don't have that? You've just got machines and
Yeah.
weights, so, there's a
So
lot of new
explain
brands.
what is hammer strength
Hammer
equipment?
Strength is a
Explain
brand
that.
that is kind of a hybrid between machines and free weights. Okay, so
Okay.
it's when you go into the gym and you see the people pick up the plates and put the plates on
Mhm.
machine, not on a barbell, but on a machine. So they've
Okay.
got chest presses, but it's plates on each side and they're moving, or leg extension.
Got it.
Got your
Okay.
leg extension
Okay.
machine where you just grab the pin and you move the pin upper or lower. But on the hammer strength, you have to load plates for the leg extension.
Okay. Well,
So,
I learned a new
yep,
thing. I mean, I've been doing those. I didn't know that.
yeah. So plate load, it's
I
kind of
need
a
a
hybrid
sheet
in between
on,
the two.
I need like a lingo sheet so
Yeah,
that I know what everything
yeah.
means. So,
Well, there's a lot
the
of
definitions, definitions.
companies, and not to rag on anybody, but there's a lot of companies out of China that try to do um, takeoffs from the really good companies, and
Mhm.
the equipment might look good, but once you get in there, things don't move right. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I look for
Yeah,
name brand quality equipment when I go into a gym. And I'm not
I
I'm
think
not
that's
too
good.
much of a snob, but there's some really good equipment coming out. Really good barbells, really good dumbbells. So I look for that. So another thing with commercial gyms is the amenities, right? The pool, the
Mhm.
jacuzzi, the steam room, the sauna, hydro massage beds, tanning, that kind of thing. But then there's also their personal trainers. So
Mhm.
that's how I lived my life. I was a personal trainer in commercial and micro gyms. Okay. I trained thousands of people over 35 years, um, which was awesome. I'm not going to lie. It was awesome. But I don't do that anymore because I really like exploring this online coaching space.
Mhm.
I'm at a caliber now where it's kind of a waste of time and energy and money for me to be standing on the floor teaching people how to do simple things. You know what I mean? There's trainers that are newer that can do that. So I think if you're in the position where you know nothing about how exercise works, know nothing about human anatomy, the simple, just machine exercises before you jump into free weights, all these different things, then I would say that would be something that you might want to take a look at. A lot of them, when you sign up, you get like 1 or 3 free sessions with a trainer. They
Yeah,
are
like a
gonna they
complimentary.
are gonna try
Mhm.
to sell you on a package. That's a
Mhm.
given. That's how they try to help their trainers make money, right? I had
Yeah.
many salespeople sell memberships and then also sell a personal training
Mhm.
package with Eric, and so
Yeah.
it's great. It's how gyms work.
Right. And you want that training if you are just starting out or it's been a really, really long time because you want to, I think we talked about it before about preventing injury. You want someone
Yeah,
to teach you how to use the machines and how to gradually progress so that you don't wind up injured and then just stop working out or,
right.
just yeah.
Most of my clients are people that have worked out in the past and they know how to work a leg extension and a leg curl and they know how to do a chest press machine and, a lat pull down. Most people, 90% of my people that I train have had experience in the gym. They've just too many years have gone by that let themselves go. They've had medical issues, injuries, whatever. Okay. Lack of motivation, dropping hormones, whatever. So, but every once in a while, about 10% of the people that I train they've never walked into a gym before. And so
Oh,
my
we got to up
my
that.
training program, I've got like those videos. If you remember on my app, I've got videos and descriptions on everything to at least let them know what kind of a machine they're looking for and the basics of each of those machines. So,
Yeah, that was helpful.
yeah.
What about some of the cons for commercial gyms? And I'll tell you my number one con is when they're crowded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really difficult because you'll be on like you'll have your list of exercises, but you've got to make sure nobody's on that piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And my advice is that you learn when the gym is not crowded
Right.
and that's where you can
Yeah.
go. So typically that's what I do. I just pick times when the gym is not as crowded, except for like today, I have to go after work because of my schedule
Yeah.
today. So it'll be a little bit more crowded, but being crowded was one of those cons.
I went to the gym one time and every single piece of equipment that I had written down for my workout that day, I couldn't get on any of them.
Mm,
So all I did
that's
was
crowded.
that was crowded. That was the most crowded I had ever seen that gym. It was a zoo. And it was my fault. I went at like 5 o'clock in the evening,
Mhm.
something like that. And it's just ton of young people just goofing off. And so what I did was I just took all of those, whatever it was, 7 or 8 exercises, and I just found substitutions for them and just rolled with
Mhm.
it. So if I was
Yeah.
supposed to do a heavy bench press in that workout and all of the benches were being taken up, I look over and I see one incline bench that was empty. It's like, okay, I'm going to do incline bench press
Mhm.
instead. So, um, cons are definitely how crowded they are. So I've
Mhm.
noticed a massive shift in gym culture since COVID. Um,
Okay.
Before COVID, you would walk into any gym anywhere and they'd have hired salespeople. And then after COVID, when they reopened the gyms, there wasn't a lot of money. We had all lost a lot of money, all of us gym owners and, corporations all the way down to the small gym owner, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of them completely cut out the salesperson, which was kind of awesome because then now you can go to a gym, get a tour, see if you like it, go home, think about it, weigh and measurement against other gyms, and then sign up for your membership right there online.
Yeah,
No
that would be
sales
nice.
pressure, no nothing. So,
Mhm.
another shift since COVID is gyms are packed now. It's insane. Like, I don't know what, I think people were so bored that they started working out after COVID, like being stuck home.
Well,
So many people.
could be they needed to get out. Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit last time. The education now is getting so much better. You're hearing scientists talk of, Huberman and all these different people, Dr.
Mm.
Gabrielle Lyons, I think her name is, all these people
Mhm.
that are just stud athletes, right? And
Mhm.
they're bringing science into it. So now all of the, people that would never consider going to a gym because that's where all the meatheads and the jocks are. Now it's appealing to all of the intellectuals, and now they're getting in. And so the gyms are just packed. Plus,
Yeah.
all the big mega gyms, for the most part, drop their prices down to get people back in the gym at $9 a month or $19 a month. And it's just like, man, like the gyms are just packed nowadays. So since I work for
Well, I think
myself now, I just go. I've learned what times of the day to go, and I just go with that.
Well, I think there's definitely a trend going on now of people realizing that they need to get healthy
Yeah.
because, you can't depend on the government. You can't depend on the fast food
No,
restaurants to provide
no.
anything healthy.
Yeah.
So I really think there's a
Yeah.
growing trend
Yeah.
of healthy lifestyles and healthy living.
Yeah.
And I am so thankful for that because we need more people taking care of their health. Definitely taking care of their health. Well, I was gonna say one more distraction about the big commercial gyms is the distractions because with so many people and moving parts, it's like sometimes you'll get those real big talkers in there and that's sometimes hard to get away from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I just think, everybody just needs to have a courtesy that if you're going to talk to someone, make it hello quick and I'll catch you after the workout or something like that. So
Yeah. That's
that's
another
a
thing.
little annoying.
I don't mind a crowded gym. I actually don't mind a crowded gym pre-COVID, right?
Okay.
Now, the type of people that are in the gyms, it's like they missed out on the whole gym culture thing. They come in and they sit down on a piece of machinery and they're just talking to their phone and they're taking pictures and this and that. And it's like, hey, man, how many more sets you got? And they look at you like you're crazy. Like, how many more sets do you have? I don't know, like 10. It's like, come on, man. Like, I had one guy tell me, why don't you come back in 10 or 15 minutes? And I looked at him, I was like, I about jerked him right off that.
Oh,
Anyways, I better not say that, but yeah,
go find something else to
yeah,
do and then come
just,
back
yeah.
and
So,
come back. Yeah.
so I think culture, everybody's wiping everything down and it's just really different now. I mean, back in the day before COVID, if you left a piece of equipment sweaty and nasty, you wipe it down. But now
Mhm.
every time anybody's done with any set anywhere, they're always wiping everything down, and it's kind of cool. It's like, okay, clean equipment everywhere, got it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good, that's
so
good.
that's culturally, that's a little bit different. And then also, just the culture of a person should be able to come up to you and ask, "Hey, how many more sets do you have? Oh, you've only got two
Mhm.
more. Do you mind if I work in with you? Like, oh, you've got five more. Do you mind if I work in?" And at least
Mhm.
just have a conversation. That's how we used to always do it in the back in the day. But now people look at you like you're absolutely crazy, like you're hitting on them or you're
Yeah.
trying to bully them off the machine. And it's like, dude, I'm just trying to ask you how much longer you got left. Can I work in with you? It's not a big deal.
Mhm.
Um, it sometimes is a big deal if I'm 6'2". If I go up to a little 4'11" girl and she's doing her leg extension and, I say, "Hey, do you mind if I work in with you?" That might be a bit of an issue because we're gonna have to adjust the machine for every set for her and for me. Adjust to
Mhm.
my length and to adjust to her length. So,
Yeah, that's a lot of
yeah, so
adjustments.
so there are
Yeah.
definitely pros and cons to joining a commercial gym, definitely.
And
The
one
cost,
other
real quick, the cost of
that's
those,
what I was
that's
wanted
the
to talk about.
cheapest.
There's a
Yeah.
variety of costs
You can get a
there, so people
membership.
don't tell me you can't afford to work
Yeah.
out
No.
because you
You
can.
can go
Yeah.
to Planet Fitness and get you a $10 a month
Mhm.
membership, or you can go to Lifetime. And I don't know, when I was there, they were charging $100 a month, but I've heard that they've gone up significantly since then. So looking at like
Yeah.
$10 to $200 a month, I would imagine for
Mhm.
most gyms. Now you get into New York City, you
Yeah.
get into LA, you're going to be charged a lot more than that. But that seems to be pretty average. I always look for around $50 a month for a gym, you know, that's
And that should be
yeah,
attainable.
and so
Definitely.
Vaza and Crunch Fitness, those guys are at 20 and 30. That's even under my price
Right.
range, so
Well,
I'm fine.
and most places won't lock you into a contract either. So that's the other thing. I
It's
think contracts have really kind of gone
yeah,
away. That
yeah,
it's really more month to
yeah.
month. So,
It's so much
and
nicer that
then
way. Yeah,
yeah, and then you can start out and maybe start at a lower price gym.
yep,
And then if it's something that you really love, the working out, and you want more amenities and then you can maybe bump up your price point and go find a different
yeah,
gym. So
yep.
but yeah, you gotta consider price. Let's anything else on commercial gyms, and then maybe we hit home gyms?
No, that's it.
No.
Yep,
Okay, I
yep.
think we covered just about everything on that, yeah. So, yeah, home gyms.
So let's go
So,
to micro gyms
uh
next because that's in between
okay,
home gym and the yep. So the
okay,
next
and so
yeah, so
define micro gym. That's kinda like
yeah,
I know you said, like,
mom and pop,
orange.
you know,
Okay. Mhm,
single owner, small gym. That's what I've
mhm.
in the past. Well,
Okay,
I've
okay.
run the big gyms. I've been a manager of the big
Mhm,
gyms, but I've owned my own micro gyms. So
okay.
that's you know, you know, 1 to 5,000 square feet. It's not a big gym. They've got equipment that the owner had to pay for themselves, not part of a chain, that kind of thing. Unless it's something like Orange Theory or F45. But yeah, these little corner, these little shopping center.
Yeah, you'll see them in, like, in warehouse
Yeah,
district
yeah.
places, that's yeah,
So
okay.
everything from little yoga studios all the way on up to like CrossFit gyms and that kind of thing,
Mhm,
strongman
mm,
gyms, that kind of thing,
mhm.
powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting gyms. Those are going to be smaller, and the clientele on that become like family. It's weird. So if you've got, your 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning classes, and then an 11 and a 12 o'clock class, and then a 4, 5, and 6, usually you gravitate towards the time of day that you want to train, whatever works for your schedule. And you get in there and you're working out, and it's usually a trainer led workout. And you get to know the people that you're working out with every day at 4 o'clock
Mhm.
in the afternoon. It kind
Okay.
of
So it's
becomes
more
like
class oriented?
yeah, it becomes
Is
more like
yeah, okay.
a family type environment. It's
Mhm.
really partner fitness or even solo workouts that you do as a group, or it could just be a big group workout, things like that. That's what I ran for 13 years. I owned two CrossFit gyms, and it was awesome. I loved it. I was never big into coming from a personal training background. You hear a lot of bad things about CrossFit that's because a lot of people that are coaching and owning CrossFit gyms aren't really that qualified to, I think.
Mm.
So I had an advantage coming from a personal training background. I would never let my clients do things that they couldn't or shouldn't do.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
a lot of
Okay.
times I'd get some young person in there and they wanna do some big sexy muscle up on the rings, and I'm like, "Hold on. First of all, you've gotta be able to do pull-ups, strict pull-ups, and then we've gotta build those pull-ups up into something that can flip you up on the rings and do that cool movement." Or maybe just, their ego, they wanna lift too heavy, so it was cool because I was running 10 to 20 person classes all throughout at different times all throughout the day, and so I got
Mm.
to know these people like my family and still friends with all of them to this day practically, and um, so I think those are really cool. So the pros with that would be community for
Mhm.
sure. If you get
Yeah.
a good set of workout partners that show up at the same time as you all the time for the
Mhm.
classes, that's just an awesome vibe, awesome feeling. If they've got a good coach, if the owner of the place is a good person, sometimes you go into these micro gyms and you're just like, you walk out of there and you're like, I want nothing to do with that community or that gym owner. You know what I mean?
Well, then, yeah,
Yeah.
find another one.
Yep.
Gotta
And
find
so,
another one.
you know, you can get really, really fit and have a really good time doing it in a micro gym. And
Mhm.
again, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. It could be a yoga class. It could be anything like that that
Yeah.
has multiple classes throughout the day. Burn body boot camp, all those things. Okay. So,
Yeah. I would think accountability would be
yeah,
really
yeah,
high in that kind of an atmosphere
yep.
because you know who you're working out with and they know when you're not there,
Now,
you know?
now a
Mhm.
pro and a con of that is you're
Mhm.
going to have a trainer, and that trainer is going to take you through a workout with along with everybody else. So unlike going to a commercial gym where you just kind of train on your own, now you're part of a group and you're being told what to do. Some people, that's awesome. I just want to come in, I want to decompress my day. I don't want to think about work anymore. Just tell me what to do. Okay, that's
Mhm.
workout. Okay, great. Let's do it. Other people, like myself, I'm used to training myself all these years. I'll go in and I find myself critiquing the workout, and or whatever. Or maybe I don't feel like doing that day or whatever. So it's kind of a pro and a con. If you get really good trainers that know their
Mhm.
stuff and they've got an eye on everybody and everybody's moving safely and stuff, you can really get fit in a place like that.
Mhm.
You can get really strong, really fit, really lean, really flexible if it's a yoga type studio. Um, Cons would be it's going to be more expensive. You're looking at probably 150 to
Okay.
200 bucks a month, maybe 250 bucks a month to be part of
Hmm.
group classes in a micro gym. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can luck
Okay.
out um, by them having an open gym during the day. Like maybe between 3 o'clock and maybe between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, they have open gym, or 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, they have open gym. You can go in there and do your own workout. So you miss out on the
Okay.
community vibe. But if that's open to
Mhm.
everybody, maybe you and your buddies can meet at that time and just the three of you make up a workout and do it on their own. Okay, it's a little bit more
Okay.
advanced, but that can be a pro and a con in and of itself. But going to be more expensive. You are going to get coaching, and if it's a good gym, you're going to have a good time. You're going to get really, really fit. If it's a cocky, arrogant trainer, if it's always about them, if they have no idea how human anatomy and physiology, like if they don't understand the basic movements of the human body and they're teaching you how to go through these group workouts, I've seen a lot of more high intensity group training go south because of that kind of thing. People get injured,
Mhm.
people get
Yeah.
burnt out, that kind of thing. And so as a CrossFit gym owner, I was always walking that fine line of how do I take care of my more elite athletes that can do all the crazy competition stuff and the other
Mhm.
80% of my members that just want to be fit and healthy. I
Mhm.
mean, so I was always walking that line of making sure I'm pushing these guys hard enough and making sure that I'm coaching these guys and getting them what their results were.
Yeah. What a good point.
Yeah.
What a good point. You're
Uh,
gonna have varied
yeah.
levels.
Another drawback is, you've got small bathrooms. You've got maybe one universal bathroom for everybody, or you've got one
Oh,
small
okay.
restroom.
No
And
big locker room
yeah,
or
yeah, not in the micro gyms.
yeah.
Sometimes
Okay.
I went into a chain wide boxing gym,
Mhm.
and it was awesome. They had the big water bags and everything, and it was a group led class through a boxing workout. And I was like, okay, never done this before. Let's do it. And had a
Okay.
blast doing it. It was a micro gym, but I don't know how they did it, but they managed to have a wall of lockers, and their bathrooms were bigger enough for people to have their own little stall and stuff. It was really cool.
Mhm.
So, it's getting better. The micro gym.
Well,
Yeah.
that's so specialized because I personally cannot imagine just going and doing boxing as a workout.
Right.
So would that be kind of like an add-on type thing as you get more advanced or something? But
That was specifically a
yeah,
boxing gym, it's like
yeah.
a cardio boxing gym,
Cardio. Okay.
very
Yeah.
similar to like a yoga. Like I personally couldn't sign up for a month-to-month yoga membership.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like cardio, I would get too bored with that. I need a lot of
Yeah.
variety.
Hmm.
But that's just how I've trained myself as an athlete. I do everything.
Yeah.
Martial
Yeah.
arts.
And I
Wait,
I imagine some people literally probably want consistency in the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah, absolutely. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. So that's good.
So
Well,
that leads us now to the
I'm
home gyms, right?
yeah.
We got your
And
bro.
I'm still sticking with commercial for me. So we'll talk
Yeah.
about who should get what. But yeah, let's talk about home gyms.
So home gyms were pretty, not very popular before COVID. When COVID hit and all gyms shut down, the cost of weights, the cost of equipment went through the roof because everybody was or
Oh
oh
gosh.
yeah,
Hmm.
like
Makes sense. Yeah.
dumbbells that used to be $1 a
Hmm.
pound were selling for, $2, $3 a pound or more. It
Mm.
was crazy. Like everybody was pulling their hair out, not being able to work out. I know I was. So I got on Facebook Marketplace. I'm picking up every kettlebell. I'm calling my gym buddies that have gyms. I'm like, can I just borrow a kettlebell until this thing is over, or things like that. Everything was so expensive. And I've noticed the prices have been slowly coming back down a little bit,
Mm.
because there just isn't the need for it. The cool thing about home gyms, whether it be inside a specialized room, like down in the basement or just
Mhm.
spare bedroom or something, or a true garage gym, right? The cool thing is it's right there. So
Right.
if you work a 9 to 5 and you come home and you're just like, man, it is so nice to have a gym right there. Um, but I will say it's for those that know what they're doing. Yep. I've had a lot of
Yeah.
people say, "Hey, Eric, can you help me out? Can you help me build out my home gym?" And I'm like, I can, but you don't really know how to work out. So I'm concerned that you'll spend all this money and won't ever use it.
Yeah. Cause like where would you I start? I
Yeah.
mean, where do you start? I
Yeah.
mean, and I would think that it would be very expensive as you're accumulating
Yes.
things. Very
Yeah.
expensive. But I was just thinking is like you probably should have some sort of equipment at home, even
Right.
if you do pick
Yeah.
a commercial gym or a group fitness place, because heaven forbid we ever go into another lockdown. But there might be times where you can't get to the gym, and then you've got at least some basic
Yeah.
things to have at home. And maybe in a few minutes, you can tell us some like basic
Sure.
home gym
Sure.
essentials that people should have.
So,
Hmm.
we had a blizzard here, um, a month and a half ago,
Hmm.
and it shut the city of Charlotte down. I mean, from what I understand, they hadn't seen a blizzard like that here since 20 years ago, something like that. So, um, I had my C2 rower, I had kettlebells, I had dumbbells, I had a barbell, I had a weight. I
Hmm.
was fine. I was working out,
Yeah.
that blizzard, you know. all
Good.
homebound, and it was black ice on the roads, and all the gyms were closed down
Mm.
anyways, and I just kept my workouts going. It was great.
We have lost connection. Are you back?
I can hear you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It
Okay.
stopped just for a few minutes, but you were saying that you had the snow blizzard
Mhm. Yeah.
and you had your
Yeah,
equipment at
I didn't
home.
skip a beat. I was able
Mhm.
to still keep working out, getting my workouts in even during the blizzard. It was black ice. People were, all the gyms were closed
Dangerous.
anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not gonna go out there and, I have a four-wheel drive. I would have been fine, but it's the other drivers I don't trust.
That's exactly it. It's the other drivers. I
So
agree.
so
I
yeah,
agree.
so home gyms are awesome if you've got an athlete, if you've got a person that knows what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then there's the
Yeah.
whole accountability thing. Like you need to be the kind of person that doesn't need accountability, that if you're gonna
Mhm.
home gym, you better use that equipment all the time. Like, cause
Right.
I would rather tell them just find a commercial gym nearby for $30 a month. Why spend 2 grand on getting
Mhm.
yourself set up with just the bare basics, you know?
Mm.
So for me to build out the kind of gym that I would be just fine in,
Mm.
right?
That would be expensive,
Look
I
at
would
10
think.
grand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
need all kinds of equipment. You know what I mean? I,
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
I've been doing this for 40 years. So, can I get by with just a bench and some dumbbells? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've
Mhm.
got that stuff. I was able to use it all the time whenever anything's popped up. And sometimes I'll just get working so much and so hard. I take this alpha brain that I'm
Okay.
not getting paid to hype up here, but this stuff, man, I take the alpha brain and I'm just like I get so much work done in 4 hours. And so there's been a couple times when I take that and I'm just working so much and getting so much done that I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just went all the way through my workout time. And so having some equipment there at my home was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I guess also privacy if you don't wanna work out in front of anybody,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. That's
I
cool
think
too.
that would probably be an advantage there for
Yeah.
some people,
Yeah. And some
definitely.
people are just
So
introverts and they don't want to be around other
mhm,
people and they just want to train. Sometimes you'll go through times in life where you just want to be alone, you know?
mhm,
Whereas other times you'll go through life and you look forward to the gym culture, whether it be a micro
yeah,
gym or a commercial gym. Yep.
that's true. I mean, I going back to even though it's a big commercial gym, I've already been there long enough that
Yeah.
I know all the trainers
Yeah.
there, know all the regulars and everything, and so it is a sense of community,
Yeah.
which is really, really, really great. But so let's talk about the home gym. Let's say I've been working out for a while, but I just want a few pieces of equipment
Right.
to have at home. What would you suggest? And I also love the idea you mentioned Facebook Marketplace.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
as long as it's
Good
in good condition,
and good brand
I would
equipment.
think,
Yeah. Good
yeah,
brands.
and
Yeah.
good brand equipment,
Yeah.
which you can probably like Google, you know, some kind of a consumer report on those if you want
Yep.
to research the equipment. But what should I have in my home gym just as a starter?
So, again, just real quick before I go into that, what you just said just
Hmm.
now, choosing good brands. Like I've had the cheap stuff before, the made in
Hmm.
and I'm not trying to rag on China, but there's a big difference in equipment. I've had that equipment bend and like I've bent bars on those things. I've had them fall.
Whoa, you're so strong.
Well, not really. I just don't think that they were using the strong tensile
Yeah.
strength steel
Uh,
that we, that
is it the quality?
yeah.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah.
gosh, I've had benches fall apart on me when I'm working out on them. I mean,
Mm.
like, that's not
Oh gosh.
cool. Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
cool. That's what I
Mm-mm.
mean by the bars, like the bars underneath the bench folding under the pressure. You
Mm.
don't want that when you're doing a bench press or something like that. So, um, yeah, so I stay away from cheap equipment. I get on Facebook Marketplace and I look for good brand equipment. And it's not
Yeah.
that hard. It's not that hard to educate yourself on what's good and what's not. A simple little Google
Mm.
search will tell you what brands are excellent. Okay. So I go to Facebook Marketplace before I do anything because sometimes you can get a brand new piece of nice equipment, like really good quality equipment, and somebody just wants to get rid of it. And if you can do
I
that first one on there,
imagine that a lot of people buy really nice equipment. Don't you? What did you say? A lot of time it becomes a place to hang
a
your
coat
clothes
hanger,
or
yeah,
something.
glorified coat hanger,
Yeah, glorified coat hanger,
yeah.
and so then they're ready to get. I bet you could get a lot of really nice things at a
I've
good
helped a lot of
price.
people say, "Can you help me sell my home gym stuff? I don't know how to do it."
Mm.
And I'm like, "Okay." Go over to their house, and I'm just like, "All right, well, it looks like you've been using this room as an extra closet to hang everything on," and so
What a waste!
yeah,
What a waste!
yeah. So,
What a waste!
um, so yeah, I look for the good. So what I would look for is, not everybody knows their way around a kettlebell. So I would not recommend just buying a kettlebell or two online because everybody else is. If you haven't had proper training on it, it's a different, it's different than holding
Mhm,
dumbbells. So I would say dumbbells first because they're universal.
mhm.
Barbells take up a lot of room. So if
True.
you're setting up your gym in a small room,
Mhm,
trying to get a barbell moving around in there can be quite a challenge. So
mhm,
I always say dumbbells. For women, you need a pair of 2.5s, fives, 10s, 15s, 20s, and 25s. You know,
mhm,
for men, you need 15s, 25s, 35s, 45s, 55s, something like that, you know, and you're golden. Like you are, you can do so many exercises with just those alone. Uh,
right, yeah.
and standing exercises. So the next thing after that would be a bench because there's so
Mm,
many dumbbell exercises you can do with just a bench. So that right there, those two things, just dumbbells and a good bench, you've got all kinds of stand-up movements and you've got all kind of bench seated or laying bench movements.
yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds easy.
without a
That
doubt.
sounds easy.
A pair of running shoes because
Mhm,
buying quality cardio equipment is very expensive. Imagine buying a good treadmill or a good stationary bike compared to a good pair of running shoes and you go out and teach yourself how to fast walk or to jog. You know what I mean? Or trail run. That's really fun
yeah.
too. A good,
Well, don't you on talking about that, don't you actually really wanna do your exercise where the terrain is not a flat, like, conveyor belt treadmill, where you're actually outside in the terrain where you have, different, like I don't wanna say rocks, but, it's just a different terrain for training.
okay. So the flat surfaces have their pros and cons. If you've got
Mhm.
somebody who is overweight and they're on a weight loss journey, they don't need to be running, right?
No,
Oh.
no, true,
And so
true.
if they
Just
are
walk
walking
and
on a treadmill or on a track, on a high school track and just getting their body moving,
mhm.
that's a much safer way than trail running. To somebody who's
Good
fit
point.
like
Mhm,
me,
mhm,
um, flat surface running is boring and it's painful for me because
mhm,
it always hits the same part of my shoe on every single one. I'm a
mhm,
big fan of trail running. I love the ups and downs and corners and hopping over rocks and this kind of thing. It keeps me alert. It keeps me paying attention. I don't just zone out and
mhm,
I don't feel it in my knees. I don't feel it in my lower back. Um, you learn how to watch where you're running. You learn how to
mhm,
pay attention because I've tripped over a couple of rocks and tree roots over the years, and that's no fun. So I don't know. I'm not a runner, but I trail run once a week. I love it. It's my favorite
mhm,
form of cardio. So there can be a big argument over training inside versus training outside. I don't think
mhm.
I can make a true statement on that, but I think that there's significant benefits of both. You know, training outside makes me tough. I've noticed.
Mhm.
Bringing in
Yeah.
elements, it just adds a whole level of toughness. In CrossFit, we ran in the rain, we ran in the snow, we worked out in the heat, in the sun. It was awesome. I've never been as fit as I was when I was CrossFitting. Now I go to these commercial gyms and it's the same temperature every time I go in, and everything is
Mhm.
sterile, and you know, it's just awesome. I mean, and I think it's made me a little bit softer. I'm not gonna lie, but man, it sure is nice to go into a gym and it's just this perfect, whatever it is, 69 degrees, whatever. So
Then yes,
yeah,
you can't beat that.
yeah,
I do. I'm always amazed that I might be freezing outside, but when I get in the gym, it's the perfect
yeah,
temperature.
yeah,
I don't know how I don't know how they do that.
yeah,
I don't know how they do that. So that's good. Well, that's good. I think did we cover everything on home gym?
yeah. So pros would be it's right there, right?
Mhm. Convenient.
It's the equipment
True.
that you like, and
Mhm.
you've got your privacy, and you can just have access to it. The cons of that, I think that there's more cons if that's your only source of working out.
Mhm.
Just because nobody's, you know, you've got to really just remember that that part of your house is separate than the rest of your house, because
Mhm.
otherwise it just becomes like just another room and you forget about it. You know,
Yeah.
you
Or
gotta,
you turn it into a closet
you
or
gotta,
something
yeah,
like
and
that.
you
Yeah.
really got to look at this as okay, daddy's got to go get my workout in. Like, give
Yeah.
me an hour. This is daddy time, or
You've
whatever.
really got to be
And you've got
disciplined.
to really be
I've
disciplined.
mhm.
You've got to be okay with working with minimal equipment, you know?
Unless you wanna spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
like,
mean
the dumbbells and the bench, the next step
mhm,
for me would, I want some good flooring, you know?
mhm,
Because I'm constantly worried about breaking the floor or doing damage to the floor with dumbbells up I don't know. It's just, I like the gym matting. That's what I'm using.
the mats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mats are huge for me. Um,
Mhm,
I just feel like I'm in a gym when I'm on gym matting. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Um, yeah, I love a good stretching mat. So, like back when I was a wrestler in high school, we had these roll up mats, that we would wrestle on.
m'kay.
So I was used to
Yes.
always stretching on those. So in the gyms, I don't like to stretch out on the hard rubber flooring. I like to grab one of those spongy mats. So
Mhm,
that's a game changer right there, because then you can do a ton of ab work. You can do stuff where you're on your hands and knees for your lower back, like bird dogs and planks and all that kind of thing.
mhm,
And it's more comfortable, when you're doing a plank on that spongy stretching mat and that kind of thing. So
mhm,
it's little things like that, and you just kind of piece together your own little home gym. Some people are motivated by quotes on the wall or things like that,
yeah,
or just music. Having a good
mhm,
big playlist goes a
mhm,
long way, right? So if you've got a little speaker in there and you've got your favorite workout playlist on Spotify, or Pandora, something like that, that can really make your workouts at home really, really good. So I think that's pretty much it. It's very expensive to do a home gym, unless you're just doing the slow method where you just buy a,
mhm,
a piece of equipment here, a piece of equipment there on Facebook Marketplace. You know. Um,
and that's good.
yep. Yeah.
That's good. You're making me wanna go work out.
I know.
I know. Well, I've got a couple of questions for you. Just,
All right.
let me pull them out here. So, because I think we
Mm,
covered the 3 types of gyms.
I have no idea what
But,
to expect here.
yeah, so they're easy ones,
Okay.
they're easy. If someone wants to get in shape but hates the gym, what do they do?
Well, the simple answer is they have to find something that they like. Okay.
Mhm,
So if they truly hate the gym, they're probably remembering some kind of a negative experience they had. It was probably at a micro gym or probably training on their own at home, and it was just boring and a drag. Or
mhm,
maybe they went to a commercial gym and had a bad experience with somebody hitting on them or something like that, right?
mhm,
So usually with those people, because I talk to these folks every once in a while on the phone, that are asking me about my program. Um, I either try to figure out what that one thing was, or I just start seeing what they would like or what they have done in the past that they actually do like. And sometimes
Mm,
it's
that's good.
not really what I
That's
would
good.
consider working out. It might be like, well, there was a time 3 years ago when I was walking every day for half an hour and I just felt great. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
well, that's not my kind of working out, but that is considered a workout and you were exercising your body. So, okay, let's start there. What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And so I help try to help that person. Is it, do they really truly hate working out, or they just
Mhm.
had some bad experiences or maybe an injury, or, you know, some people though, they just don't like pain at all. And I don't, to me, there's a difference between good pain and bad pain, right?
Right.
Bad pain is when you slam your thumb with the hammer. Like that's bad pain. Breaking a
Mhm.
bone, that's bad pain.
That's bad pain, yeah.
Good pain is like that exhilaration you feel when you're on your last rep and you're like, "Man, I think I'm strong enough this week to do one more." And you do
Mhm.
it and your muscles are burning and everything hurts and you set that weight down, but it's like a good hurt, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
every once in a
And you
while,
do it.
they're like,
The
I
feel good
just don't.
after you do it, you're like, "I did it."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just
So,
like, "I don't like working out. The weights are just so heavy." And, I'm just like, I don't understand.
well,
Does not
I
compute.
like you approached it with more of a positive reinforcement, which is really great. Find something that they like. Me, I would probably say, well, let's change your mindset, suck it up, buttercup, let's just do it. And so
Well, if you say
you
that to
probably get a
somebody,
better
okay,
result.
so if you say that to somebody who's motivated that hates working out, that'll work, right?
Yeah. Well,
If you
that's
find
why
out,
you're the
"Hey,
professional too.
listen,
That's
oh,
why you're
your
yeah.
doctor tells you that if you don't start working out, you're gonna die."
Mm.
Okay, get
Oh,
your
yeah.
in the gym and you give them that tough love and you're like, "Doesn't matter. You're gonna
Yeah.
do this. We don't want you dying. Here's what you're gonna do." So sometimes I have to
Mhm.
be that for some people. But, um, if they don't have the motivation, if they're just like I talked to a guy, this was not my favorite. I talked to this guy on the phone. He's like, "Yeah, my wife told me to call you." And I'm like, "Here we go." I'm like, "All right, man.
Mm.
Well, what are your goals?" "I don't really have any goals. I just need to make her happy." And I'm like, "Well, all right, man. Are you happy with your body right now?" "Yeah, kinda, yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, so you're 280 pounds, you're 5'8", and your wife is telling you you're too fat. Okay, that's painful. I get it. So you're taking a call with me to see what I've got. But what about this? What about that? I couldn't do anything to motivate him. I couldn't do anything. He's like,
Mm.
I don't like working out. I don't like to sweat. I don't like to. And I'm like, we got to the end of the phone call, and he. I was like, well, good luck to you, brother. I don't know what to tell you. I hope that you and your wife stay
Yeah.
together because it sounds like
Yeah.
about had the biscuit with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
So
sad call,
some
but,
people
you know
just don't want anything to do with it. And I
Mhm.
respect people too much. I'll just walk. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Right. I mean, you can only do what you can do,
Yeah,
and the other person has to make that choice. And I'm sorry to hear that, but maybe that conversation will come back to him, and especially from his wife,
yeah.
and then maybe he'll decide to make that change, and
I
we
hope
can
so.
pray for
I
that.
hope so.
Mm,
Cool guy. I liked him.
hope
He
so.
just
Yeah.
lives a totally different lifestyle than me.
Yeah. Here's I don't know if you can answer this. What's the biggest lie the fitness industry tells beginners?
Well, I'm not going to be very popular. Maybe this might not be the perfect answer, but this is my answer.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I, especially back in the late 80s and early 90s, there was a lot of Kathy, you're gonna get me in trouble here. There was a lot of car
You're getting yourself in
there
trouble.
was a lot of used car salesmen that came over into selling gym memberships and selling, and it was a horrible time. They would lock people into contracts. Late 80s, early
Mm.
90s was
Oh, I remember those. I
brutal.
remember
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
These guys, they would
Yeah.
they would shame people into not getting a
Mm,
membership or not getting personal training. That's why I was never a sales guy. I never liked it. I was always a trainer. I
mhm,
was always on the floor, always coaching. I never
mhm.
liked those hanging out with those sales guys. So my
Yeah.
big pet peeve, to answer your question, would be when they would get that feeding frenzy of people, they pull their credit card out and what you also need is this, and what you also need is this, and you need this gym towel, and you need these gym clothes, and you need, and they
Mhm,
would sell not what the customer needed, which was a gym membership and maybe a few personal training sessions, but they also started trying to get these people on all these supplements and this and that, and it's like, man, that
mhm,
that really I thought was a lie. Whenever it comes down to money and people trying to make more money and it's not what's best for the
mhm,
client, you know what I mean?
mhm.
Uh,
Yes.
because how many of those I remember these guys, they tag teamed this one girl in the office and she came out of there crying. And just to get them
Mhm.
off her back, she bought everything with her credit card. And I just was like, oh my God, like you guys are animals, you know?
Yeah, that's bad.
That's bad. I didn't like that.
Mhm.
Back in those days. Now there's no
Yeah.
salespeople in the gym. Now you just go
Mhm.
in and you get your membership online and we don't have to deal with all that crap anymore. So telling beginners that they have to get on a ton of supplements, I don't know. I think they need to get back in the gym first and get moving. They need to clean up their diet.
Yeah.
That's what I did with you. Remember in those
Yep.
12 weeks, I was like, we're going to take a break from supplements.
Mhm.
You coming from your background, you're like, oh, we do a lot with supplements. And I'm like, I know, hang on.
Yes.
Just for 12 weeks, let's give your body a break from everything. And then once you are done with the 12 weeks, then start adding them in one by one, and your body will be able to tell what's working for you and what's not. And you eliminate any kind of supplements that you're told to take that don't actually work well with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah,
So
dialing in on nutrition was key. I think,
I love supplements.
another
I love supplements, but I
Oh,
like to
yeah,
see my
absolutely,
clients
because
training first and eating
Mhm.
healthy, like getting their eating under control and then adding in supplements.
Yeah, we don't our food does not have the same nutrition or,
Yeah.
it's not packed full of vitamins and nutrients like it used to be, so it has actually caused us to have to supplement with so many different things, but, the thing that keeps popping up on, like, some of my, feeds on my social media is the fitness industry saying, like, "In 30 days, you can have these abs, and in 30 days, you can have" and, like, that
That
is what
that should have been my
I'm like,
answer. I didn't think about that. That right there, that's the
yeah,
answer
well,
right there.
today in
Yeah.
today's world, that's really what I see is these quick fixes, and
Yeah.
it does not work that I mean, my challenge was 90 days, and yes, I had a transformation, but even in that 90 days, it wasn't what these people are saying you can do in, 30 days at 15 minutes a day or something like that. Or yeah, or that you can eat anything. The guy that's eating a day full of nothing but donuts and pasta, I'm like,
Yeah.
anyway,
So
those
that's
are bad.
that's the better answer to your question for sure. If I would have thought of that, I would have said that one for sure. There is no quick fix. I mean,
Mhm,
Ozempic and peptides and all these different things. These things are helping people get certain results. They just
mhm.
are, right? But
Right.
it's not a substitute for working out. It's not a substitute
Mm,
for eating healthy and eating clean.
right. Yep.
It's an addition. It's not a substitution. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm. Exactly.
now that I'm in the online space, now that I'm out of the gyms coaching and I'm in the online space, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I'm
Mhm.
seeing, now I see all these people all the time dropping in my feed. And
Yeah, it's that algorithm. It's just
I
like,
see
I'm
it
like,
all
"Stop."
the time. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
I see usually young trainers under 25
Mhm.
years old with all their shiny, perfect muscles and everything, and they're eating
And no shirt.
a piece of pizza. They're
Yeah.
telling people, "You can do this too," and have six-pack abs, and it's like, "Hold on, brother, like, you can't do that. You can't put yourself out there as an expert just because you've got a 23-year-old chiseled body and you can eat all the pizza
Mhm.
you want. It hasn't hit you yet. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Just
like,
right.
you haven't gone through life yet. You don't understand. So, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
that's a thorn in my side for sure. Just because somebody looks good and they sound good doesn't mean that they're not just a shiny salesman, you know what I mean? And they don't know what they're
Yeah.
talking about and they're just trying to sell you. I mean, you got to really be
Yeah.
careful nowadays. I mean, look at the Liver King guy, right?
Mhm.
Did you follow that
The liver?
Liver King?
Who's
The
that?
Liver King? Yeah.
Not I
So
don't.
just this guy that came out and said you've got to eat ancestral, only. But
Oh,
he's eating
yeah.
raw
Okay.
meat, raw kidneys.
Mhm.
He's eating animal organs, and
Mhm.
he's just this massively muscular dude,
Mhm.
and older guy. He's like 45, I guess, somewhere around there. And
Mhm.
he says he did it all without steroids. And you look at his body, and you're like, that's a steroid body. Like for
Yeah.
like,
Or that's a rarity. I mean, that's a rare that is not something for the general public
yeah. Well, he
to
he was lying his butt
yeah.
off. Like
Mm.
he was taking a mountain of steroids, but telling everybody, follow me, take my supplements, and you can be like me. You need to all eat ancestral. And it's just like,
Mhm.
man. So I've seen a lot of that stuff throughout the years pop up and then fade away, pop and then
Yeah.
fade.
So, isn't there a phrase something about if it sounds too good to be
It
true,
usually is.
it's
Yeah.
probably yeah,
Yeah.
so that's ridiculous,
Yeah.
but, okay, I have another one last question. Why do so many people start a workout and quit within a few months?
Start a workout
What's going
program.
on? Mhm. Or a routine, and then they quit.
Okay. Lots of answers to that. One could be poor programming. Maybe it's too hard,
Mm,
you know?
poor okay,
So take somebody
that's good.
like yourself, right? You were athletic when
Mhm,
you were young, right?
mhm.
And let's say a year ago you were overweight and you're like, I can't take it anymore. I know what I need to do. I'm going to do it, right?
That's me.
And you got on
Yeah.
somebody's workout program and it was somebody advanced, right? And you jump back into it and everything is hurting, but not the good hurt. Like your joints are hurting, your bones are hurting, you're getting headaches, your things aren't working the way they used to when poor programming.
Mhm,
Maybe their goals are not strong enough. So I've noticed I guinea pig myself on a lot of things, right? Like I try
mhm.
things out on myself first before I even think about talking to other people about them. So, um, oh, where was I going with that? What were we just talking about?
Well, we are talking why do some people start, like, a routine
Yeah,
workout
okay,
and
so
then
the
they
goals
quit
aren't strong
with
enough. So I've noticed with
yeah.
myself
Mm,
that whenever I take on something big and something new, I've got to make it big. I've got to focus my whole life on this and I've got to just really decide this is what I'm going to do. Cuz it's so easy now to just try this or try that, 75 hard and they just try it. 75 hard is like uber strict. And if you break any of their little rules in the 75 hard, you're like done. You got to start all over again. Same thing with Whole
oh
30, right?
gosh.
The Whole 30, you've
Uh-huh.
got to eat perfect for 30 days. And if you break it just one time, you got to start the Whole 30 all over again.
Mm,
So I've noticed that with myself, if I want to, let's say, go on a 3-day water fast, right?
mhm.
That's not just something I'm like, yeah, I think tomorrow and the next day and the next day, I'm just going to take 3 days off from eating and just do a water fast. Oh, no, no. Like, I have to make those goals set in stone. Like that, I am going to do this no matter what. I'm not going to half butt it. I'm going to go all butt. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah, no, that's
So
good.
I think sometimes
Plan it.
people
Mhm,
drop 5 pounds in the gym over 2 months and they're feeling better and then life happens and they get distracted from their goal and then they try to come back but it's been 2 weeks and they're like, man, my body was feeling so good, why is it starting to feel bad again? You know what I mean? It's just, I think having really strong mental goals, even having them written
mhm.
down like that scripture, write the vision on the wall, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
I take that stuff
Mhm.
very serious and I've just noticed with guinea pigging myself on things that I can't just commit to something half-heartedly. I have to really be like, Eric, this is what you're going to do. And you're going to do it no matter how bad it gets until, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Have the goal. Yeah.
yeah,
If you have the goal and then maybe checkpoints or
yeah.
something to keep from giving up.
Yeah, yeah,
So those
micro
are
goals and
yeah.
then macro goal. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. I'm huge on that.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
great. Eric, you have been such a wealth of
Yeah.
information today.
I
Thank you.
got
Thank
way
you. So
more.
if I know you do, so we're going to have you back next month.
Yeah.
Okay. Question: if someone wants to find Eric Barber, where do they go?
So, barberictraining.com is my website. It's my name backwards, so it's a misspelling on purpose. It's Barber Eric, Barberic Training. Um, Most people just go to YouTube. I'm sorry, go to
Mhm.
Instagram, Barberic Training, and I've got just all of my videos on there. And then I found out how to do that little Facebook thing where you can have it switch over and also post.
Okay.
Learned how to do that about 6 months ago. So uh,
Yeah. I mean,
want to see
that's
all the
our
stuff?
age.
Go to
Yeah.
Instagram first, and then Facebook second, and then YouTube is going to be my new, my new thing. I'm learning how the ins and outs of how to figure out how to do all that. So yeah, I just want to help people. I do
That's
best at
great.
this time in my life. I'm looking for people who are 40s, 50s, 60s, who feel like their
Hmm.
best years are behind them and there's nothing they can do about it. And I'm over here going, whoa, whoa, whoa. You need a
Yes.
mindset shift. You can
Hmm.
totally do this. We can do it together. You don't have to do it alone. And I've got a ton of information and help that I give my clients. So I just want to help people, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, and I am probably one of your biggest fans, and I know
Well,
you've got
thank you.
hundreds of
Thank you
them
so much.
and thousands of
Thank
them.
you.
But I tell people, do not tell me you are too old.
Yeah.
Do not tell me you don't have enough
Yeah.
money, and do not tell me that you don't have the time,
Right.
because your health is everything. And we've Eric provided options on where you can work out, gave you,
Exercise.
recommendations for trainers, whether it's a local personal one or if contact Eric for online. That's what we did online. He's like states away, but we still had those weekly calls and everything. And it just really, he does that uh, really a unique program for you.
Yeah.
And I just can't thank you enough because it has literally just changed my life. And I appreciate you
Yeah,
so
I
much.
see
So
I see your pictures on, Instagram and Facebook, and I'm like, "Gosh, she's just still going." Like, you're
I'm
just getting
still
yeah,
going.
it's just
Yeah.
awesome what you've been
Still,
able to do.
still
Yeah,
going.
because
Yeah.
we got started
It's
back in, what was it, September?
the end of September.
Yep,
Yeah. It
so
was
we
the
trained
last week of
October, November,
September.
December, right? And
Hmm.
then you've been pretty
Yes.
much on your own January through March, and you're just crushing
Hmm.
it. Yeah. See, to
Crushing it.
me, that means I've done my job. Like, I get people
You
for
did your
12
job.
weeks,
Hmm. Hmm.
and if I check in on somebody 6 months or a year later and they're back to where they were before they started working with me, I feel like I failed because my job secretly, my on not secretly, but on a personal level, my job
Hmm.
is to not just give people an excellent meal plan and an excellent progressive workout program that works for them over those 3 months. Not
Hmm.
just the accountability and the stuff I can pour into their life and teach them, but it's also subliminally, I'm trying to reset their mind to fall in love with health and fitness and create
Hmm.
a love of this stuff that has kept me going for
Yes.
40 years, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I do it. That's really what's behind what I do. It's not just the 12 weeks. It's can I help create a true love of health and fitness in this person?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you did a great job.
Well,
You did a great job. You did.
thank you.
So, for all of our listeners, if you yourself or you know someone that is interested in changing and transforming their life, please share this podcast, like, subscribe to my new YouTube channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And next month, we'll bring Eric back because I'm sure we've got many more great things to learn. So thanks, Eric. I really appreciate
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.